Is the season finished before we even hit 2025? I'll let you decide. As we travel with you far away through the time. What's happening, Celtic family? I hope you're all doing well out there, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much to everybody who's subscribed. Again, I may as well say this right now and get it out of the way. If you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom. It's free to do so, and it helps me build this channel, and we can build this channel together. So before I even begin today, I had a whole day planned on what I was going to do. I'd planned it all out the night before. I was going to do a bit of vlogging. I was going to show going to the game, inside the game, but it didn't quite work out like that. First thing this morning, I don't know why, I'd normally have my season ticket in my wallet, so I'd never really have to check, but I checked this morning, it wasn't there, couldn't find it, looked everywhere, so I was running late from the very start. I had to pick the son up, and then we had to go down to Glasgow to go to the game. I had to go to the ticket office and get another season ticket, and then the plan was to then vlog as much as possible. I will put a wee bit up what I got, because the wind was absolutely horrendous and you could not hear me whatsoever. So I'm on my way to Celtic Park. It's the 29th of December and Celtic take on St Johnstone today. Things haven't kind of gone to plan today. I've been running about my house today trying to look for my season ticket because I've lost it, but can't find it. So I'll need to go to the ticket office and see if I can get one to replace it. So we're on our way in there now, and let's see what Celtic can do today. Woo! Don't know if you can hear me, but it's a bit windy today. But because I've went and lost my season ticket, we're heading to the ticket office and now go and pick a new one up, and then we'll head into the game. New car all sorted. Probably not hearing the thing I'm saying, so let's just get in there. This wind is madness. As you can see, I didn't really get that much footage, but anyway, it didn't take away anything from the day, didn't take anything away from how well Celtic played today. Obviously, we are going to get on to what that other lot at the other side of the city were up to today, because that was very evident in the stadium today, but we'll get to that. Listen, Celtic were back to form. And we sit there and we say Celtic are back to form. They've never really been out of form when you really think about it. We've had a couple of wee lapses in sort of performance, I think. I think we all know that in October, or like there was a wee bit of a lapse of performance. Performance dipped a wee bit, but then it picked up a wee bit again. And then December, the start of December. But no, as I've said before, and as I've spoke to other people before, we normally do that in December. We always have a wee lapse in performance in December. It just seems to happen to Celtic. And then we pick it up again, probably in the new year. But this time round, it seems to have picked up again a wee bit earlier. I thought Celtic's performance today, from start to finish, was absolutely brilliant. There was no point in that. There was no point in that game where you didn't think every time Celtic was on the attack that they weren't going to score. Took a wee while for the first sort of 20 minutes of the first half. Celtic played and knocked about the ball, and they were just looking for these openings to get in. Fair play to St Johnstone. At times, they kind of defended pretty well and kind of stopped Celtic from getting that opening goal in the first sort of few minutes. But from the off, Celtic looked like they were dangerous and they were going to score. I actually thought at one point, and I said to myself, this is going to be an absolute mauling again. There's going to be another 4 or 5 goals here. I wasn't wrong. There was another 4 goals. And all 4 goals were taken brilliantly and well deserved. I really thought Celtic really upped the tempo with the way that they're playing over the last 2 games against Motherwell and today against St Johnstone. I thought the way that they've been playing has been absolutely unreal, and it sets us up brilliantly for heading over to the other side of the city to take on that lot in the 2nd of January. A bit like Boxing Day game, I thought Brendan got the starting 11 right. I thought he had to, and I thought it was a good idea to rest the likes of Callum McGregor, to rest Kuhn, because no matter what we say, and no matter what kind of sort of form that Rangers are in, it's always a tight game and it's always a dangerous game. It's always one of these games you just don't know what's going to happen. Look at the cup final. We all had Celtic to go in there and run riot, but I think this game is going to be exactly the same as what I said. It depends what Celtic team turn up on the day. If the Celtic team that we all know, and even that Celtic team today and the last 2 performances, if that team turns up to Ibrox, then I think Rangers will really struggle to break us down and find a way of beating us. And the thing is, if we can go there and go to Ibrox and just not lose, the thing is, if you look at their result today, and anybody who doesn't know their result today, it finished 2-2, and they were lucky to finish 2-2. But take that out of the equation. The thing is, if Celtic turn up, that we know will turn up, then they will really struggle. And the thing is, and I'm going to say it now, and nobody wants to say this because we always want to beat our rivals, and I believe that we will, but right now, I'll take a draw, and that will absolutely kill that lot, because they absolutely have to, without a shadow of a doubt, beat Celtic now. They have to beat Celtic on Thursday. That is going to be a tall ask for them to accomplish, especially if the Celtic that turned up today and the Celtic that turned up on Boxing Day, if that team arrives at Ibrox, Rangers are going to struggle hard to beat us. They really are. Look, listen, let's get back to the game. I thought we were absolutely brilliant. Today. The way that we just controlled the middle of the park, and that's an area of the park that we've been so used to controlling. And over the last wee while, I just thought that maybe we were slacking a wee bit in the middle, but I thought today we absolutely controlled it. The ball's out to the wing to Nicholas Kuhn. I mean, I don't know what do you say about Nicholas Kuhn. He's a guy that we all absolutely ridiculed when he first came in. A lot of us, give us our due, didn't realise until sort of towards the end of the season that he was dealing with a tooth issue. But when he first arrived, we all kind of thought, what's happening here? Who's this guy that we've got? But this season, the start of this season, the guy has been absolutely amazing. He really has been, and he thoroughly deserves every goal that he gets, and he took his first goal absolutely brilliant. Before that, he must have took on about 7 or 8 different defenders and just couldn't get the shot off. But what an absolute player. And another one who I've absolutely slagged off, and not slagged off, but just said that hasn't been playing well, so maybe he's watched Bhoys in the Green YouTube channel, but it's Kyogo. But again, Kyogo didn't put a foot wrong today. thought he was a wee bit quieter at times, but that was not for the lack of trying. That wasn't because he wasn't working hard to try and find the ball. That's just simple for the simple fact that he wasn't quite getting the service that he wanted. But everything that he did do, he gets himself on the score sheet twice. So you cannot complain, and that is what Kyogo can do. Kyogo can be quiet throughout a game and then step up and get a goal for you. That's what he can do, and that's why it is so hard to try and drop Kyogo. As I've said before, and I've said it in a previous video, you would have seen it, that I think Adamida deserves a start. And I still do believe that Adamida deserves a start. I don't think he's done too much wrong. As I said, he's maybe not hit the heights as what he did when he first arrived on loan. But listen, that happens. Sometimes it just takes that wee while to embed back in. But when Kyogo comes up with things like that, you can absolutely understand why the manager goes for him on the starting 11 most weeks, because he can just come out of nowhere, or he can have a bad game and then turn up and score for you. Listen, another standout performance as well from Arne Engels. Again, another guy that's came in there, £11 million player. Us as Celtic supporters and the media more than anything, but us as Celtic supporters did get a wee bit impatient with him. You know fine well, when he's got a price tag on his head like that, coming in for 11 million, you just expect him to start hitting the ground running. That didn't happen for him. But over the last 2 games, I have been massively impressed, and quite rightly so. He's got man of the match twice. But the way that he just dictates as well a lot of things that has happened in the middle of that park. Over the last 2 games, I know I'm not getting ahead of myself because it has only been 2 games. I think that he's shown why he's worth 11 million and why he's probably going to be worth a lot more than that. But I just think the way that he's been able to dictate the football and dictate his passes, and not only that, I mean, his crosses, his dead ball is absolutely unbelievable. He was taking short crosses with Kuhn, and I wish that he just delivered it into the box, because his delivery is absolutely phenomenal. And that's something that we've really struggled with over the last few years, is dead balls. But Arne Engels seems to be the man that can send in these nice deliveries into the box, and that's what we're looking for, a wee bit more of that. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that Arne Engels is going to prove over between now and the end of the season why he's worth £11 million. But just touching a wee bit on Yang, I mean, to go in there and start today in front of Maeda, obviously I thought that was another good decision to make. We need Maeda for the second at Ibrox. But to go in there and play the way that he played, I know I was speaking to people today and they weren't too convinced with him on Boxing Day. I actually didn't think he had really a bad game. He could have done a wee bit more. Did he lose the ball a wee bit? Yeah. But I actually thought on Boxing Day he wasn't too bad. But today I thought he stepped it up another level. I really did. I thought he was quite willing to take on players when he had to. If he lost the ball, which we see Yang doing quite a bit, he done everything in his power to run after it and get it back. Sometimes successful, sometimes not. But his work rate, and that's the thing with the Japanese boys, I go on about the work rate and we go on about Daisen Maeda's work rate because that's the most obvious guy to go on about his work rate because it's second to none. But all the Japanese guys, their work rate is unbelievable. It really is. And I thought Yang didn't do himself any harm there at all. I thought he was really good. And it's the same as what I said in my previous video. I know that we are probably looking for another winger, but I think we've got one there as well. That's not to say that we shouldn't look for another winger. But I think we've got one there in Yang. I think he just needs to be given more game time and you will see him get better and better again. But today, I've got no faults with him whatsoever. He was brilliant. In my eyes, I thought he was brilliant today. And then you talk about strength and depth in the squad. And some people saying when we drew to Dundee United that maybe we don't have, and I'm not saying Celtic supporters, I'm saying a lot of the media, saying maybe we don't have the strength and depth. But when you look at that team today and the team that we put out there, which is not our starting 11, and the way that they dictated the game and the way that they took full control, I mean, I can't even really remember St Johnstone having a shot on target. I thought the whole back line was brilliant. Carter Vickers and Liam Scales in there, absolutely fantastic. That's the thing with Liam Scales. I know we've got Austin Trusty there, and he's a great defender. But with Liam Scales in there with Carter Vickers, it's the same with Trusty. I feel nice and relaxed, but just seeing them today, the two of them today, the pair in there, absolutely brilliant. So obviously through the game, there was reports coming in of what was happening between Rangers and Motherwell, and as you can imagine, when Motherwell went 1-0 up, the place absolutely erupted. I honestly thought that there was a title party going on in there. And then obviously when they scored the second, it was just all round the stadium. The atmosphere, well done to all the Celtic supporters in there today. The atmosphere was absolutely electric all the way through the game. It was brilliant to have on a pretty dreary, horrible sort of Sunday afternoon. Really, really windy. Thankfully the rain kind of stayed off, but it was just really, really windy. And sometimes when I was sitting, that wind could be a bit better. But the atmosphere in there, that didn't stop the atmosphere. And then when obviously Rangers came back, obviously, and they drew 2-2, but just to have them drop points, you could tell in the stadium that people were just absolutely delighted, not only at watching their team and the way they were playing, but knowing that our rivals were dropping points again. And the fact is that puts us 14 points clear going to Ibrox, where we could end up, if we win there, 17 points clear. And I don't know about you, but for me, the league's over. The league's over before we even go to Ibrox. I think it's done. I really do. But it's not mathematically done. So I can't sit there and say that it's done. But I'm pretty confident that us as Celtic supporters can sit here today and say that the league's done. Is that I get to listen to Super Scoreboard on the way home. And I tell you what, I honestly will never give up listening to that radio station. Well done to Gordon and everybody in that studio, because I think it's absolutely hilarious when you hear Rangers supporters and all they do. And fair play, there was actually 2 people that came on and just said that they were basically crap. Simple as that. Just tell it how it is. But all the time, you can guarantee it. There's an excuse. There's an excuse for why they didn't play well. There's an excuse that the starting lineup wasn't the right starting lineup. Well, tell me what is the right starting lineup, because every player you've got there are garbage. It's as simple as that. So you're sitting there, you're blaming Philippe Clement when you weren't blaming Philippe Clement only a few weeks ago, when you'd won 4 games in a row. And let's just take into consideration the teams that you were playing, like Ross County, St Johnstone, Dundee United, who are all sitting towards the bottom half of the table. That's the teams that you were playing, and Kilmarnock, and that's the teams that you were playing. They even talked about that in Super Scoreboard today, how they thought they had turned a corner because they were able to compete with Celtic. You see, that's the thing. That's where Rangers are as a club at the moment. And Celtic should take a lot from that Rangers are looking to compete. If it ever gets to the day that Celtic are just looking to compete, that's when I will be absolutely gutted. When they're looking just to compete with Rangers. But that's where Rangers are at. That's where Rangers are at. And they even said it themselves, and it's not the first time I've heard that they're looking for Celtic. They're looking to play Celtic and compete against them. A lot of them on there today going on about how they didn't expect to win the league, but they just want to compete against Celtic. That's where Rangers Football Club are at this point in time, and have been there for a long time, where they're looking at Celtic and they just want to be able to compete with them. I have to stop laughing. Listen guys, that's it from me today. Thank you very much for everybody who's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, hit it below. It's free to do so, and let's grow this channel together. If anything comes up between now and then, I will be sure to jump back on and we'll get a chat about it. But until then, stay safe out there, Celtic family, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.